What a day starting off for Group A versus BFS. We're down to B versus C now with a shocking team coming up. Egypt, out of nowhere, taking dominance of a start when it comes to this group performance. I'm Chucha and this is going to be Dona. We're casting for your tournament right now. You guys watching with us at home or in Bali, where we are at right now for the 14th World Esports Championship brought to you by IESF. But I do know we have to thank so many people for this.
Yes, of course, we have to thank our sponsors and also partner, which I'm gonna shout and say thank you for all of our sponsors, which is main sponsor. We have JHL Group, and also this event is sponsored by JHL Auto, Nusapay, DAS, Gudang Crypto, Taiwan Excellence, Pertamina, Hydro Coco, and also with official telco partner Telkomsel, official smartphone partner Samsung Galaxy A series, internet service provider partner IndiHome, travel management partner Hin, hotel partner Episode Hotel, and also Merusaka Hotel, which this event is held. Esports broadcaster partner Mineski Global, IEFL, Acid, production partner Lemon ID, and also we have media partner as well, Net TV, Trans7, TheTick.com, Esports ID, Video.com, Dunia Games, Dance TV, Dance Play, Merah Putih, Bola Score, and also Kami Bijak.
Take a breather now, it's my turn. We have to thank none other than the government support this time, none other than Kemenpora, Korea MCST, Kony, NOC Indonesia, and wonderful Indonesia as we are right now. But back to it about the game here. Definitely we have such a interesting day, interesting format, and odd numbers of team, making it so hard to predict who's going to advance towards the grand finals, because feels like it's just the awakening of B and C group.
I couldn't agree more, because like we didn't see that this kind of play style or this kind of result that we saw when they were up against Group A, especially like finally we can see Vietnam up and going straight to the late game, the end games. It's quite rare to see Vietnam going into like late game when they were up against Group A.
I mean, like, they were having a tough time surviving at first, but like, you know, they still survived. But it was really a struggle for the Vietnam team due to the blue zone and lack of manpower due to only down to 2 more players. But back to us at Group B and versus C now. We're having a start for the Egypt team, and Jordan was really consistent today as well, getting themselves at the top 2. Now, are we looking over the same scenario as A group back then? Are we looking over that straight 3 games between Jordan and Egypt? Do you have somebody else in mind right now?
For me?
Yeah,
actually,
you go for Vietnam, right?
Yeah.
I mean, like, we swap.
I was actually. I was, but now I think I kind of changed my mind. Quite a bit. Maybe I go to Egypt for now.
Wow. If in Malaysia, I'm not sure we call it lalang. Is it the same?
For Indonesian, we call it what is it called? Karbitan.
Wow, that's a really long one. Basically, what it means, I think it's the same. It basically jump ships, right?
Yeah,
jump ship. Whoever's in the favor, you're gonna go and jump to the ships. But I'm looking for even Chinese type to perform here, because it seems like they have sort of a momentum and they got quite aggressive the first few circles. The problem is just during the rotation, they got caught off guard.
Yeah.
So they are one of the teams that have the most elimination at first before they being shut down entirely for the whole team.
And I think it's by Jordan. I
have a feeling it is.
I have a feeling it is, because like I often like saw Jordan really like rushing into like to like giving a pressure towards like a team, and also really want those elimination points for them as well. So yeah, Jordan has been really actively seeking for those points for them in the past games, which is happening in Erangel, the Uji map. And talking about Chinese Taipei, if only they got a timing, or they got a chance to really like resetting their mindset and also situation, because like in terms of health point, they weren't really that great to up against Jordan, and therefore they eliminated. If they got that time, I think the different scenario is gonna happen from for Chinese Taipei.
Yeah, we're going to have to wait and see and have more discussion in depth for that, because we're going to jump straight into our map of Sunhawk right now. Right, it was Sunhawk, right?
Miramar,
Miramar,
actually.
sorry.
Yeah.
We haven't done Miramar.
Yeah.
I lost track of time. But let's go into the desert dunes, none other than the biggest map, Miramar.
Let's go.
I want to point one thing out that you mentioned about some teams are, but if you
What is it?
compare, like, if you think about relive the moment about what happened A versus B and A versus C, right? I feel like now we're looking at B versus C, we can see the difference. We thought Group B is a stable one, but if you think about it, Group C is having the most improvement if you compare with Group B, even if they fought earlier today.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I have the same kind of thought about the Group C as well. Especially like if we're talking about Jordan all over again. But ladies and gentlemen, I believe that we are gonna have some remake for this game for Miramar. So yeah, we're gonna back to the Castle Desk.
You know what? Sometimes it's more fun to actually have hiccups during the tournament, so you have better memories next time. You have good memories. It's not PUBG Mobile if it's not hiccups for a tiny bit. That's the fun part of tournaments sometimes.
Yeah.
But back to it's about the team we mentioned before, Group C and Group B. Now we compared them with Group A before, but not towards Group B and C. It feels like a bit not justice enough for both groups here. Now we see that Group B feels a bit quiet if you compare it with Group C. Even Iraq just now having a tough time to fight against Egypt and Jordan. And if you compare how aggressive they can get, how active things have changed from the early of the day till the end of today here. We're talking about Ghana, who's supposed to be very quiet, very conservative. Feels like they really want to improve in a very short amount of time.
Yeah, indeed. But I really want to mention this once again. Actually, what is lacking from Group B, from what I can see, is actually how they can finish what they've started. Like how they can finish the war or the war that they've started. Because like I can see from Chinese Taipei and also Vietnam, when it comes to like winning the war itself, they kind of lacking in that.
And the biggest problem for them when they start the fight is it's going to be not having enough information by starting the fight. They saw one or two person or a couple of players from another squad entirely, but they have not gained enough information regarding the placement or the position of the other remaining two flankers.
Yeah.
So that's how they step into the trap.
Yeah.
They taken the bait, they were stepping into the trap, and they got cornered. And the worst part, there's always be a third party during this whole process. For Chinese Taipei especially, they always taken up the bait. But for Vietnam team, it's a different story from my observation. Vietnam team is the team that always caught in a trap during transition. They don't even want to fight at first.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they always got like being founded out by the other teams. They're like, oh, their team's running. Everything that moved, these guys will hunt you down.
Oh, yeah. But actually, like, we rarely talk about Iraq.
Yeah,
we rarely talk about Iraq because like Iraq is came from Yala team, I believe.
Yeah. But at first, it was supposed to be the Enigma Galaxy.
Supposed to be because but they've changed roster, right? Because like actually, like Enigma Galaxy right now is playing in the survival stage as a PMGC, but the replacement though actually not that bad, I believe.
They are actually really good team as well. They're one of the top teams when it comes to Middle East and Africa region. But the problem with them, it's going to be I'm not sure if there's something to do with their stamina or they get exhausted. Because we see in the early few games today, they got sort of consistency when they're fighting against Group A.
Yeah.
They got the top 5 quite a number of times. But when they had that pause, when they had that break for Group B, they start to drop their momentum when it's fighting Group C. Maybe they got cooled off.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a back pause for the teams that have to re-pick up the momentum again.
Yeah, because like we have like a quite a long of break time, right? Previously, 30
Wow.
minutes plus, and I believe it's like nearly an hour for Group B. More than an hour, actually.
We can go to Samina first.
Okay, yeah. And then cook instant noodle, and then eat, and then like chilling, and then
see the sunset.
see the sunset. Yeah. But talking about like the break time though, it's kind of like a dual-ended knife, I believe.
Yep.
Dual-ended
It's
knife.
a double blade. We call
Double blade is
Yeah.
double blade kind of thing, because like yes, you got to like take a rest, take a full of rest, but if you are if you are not ready yet to like facing up the next challenge or facing up the next game, is gonna be like pretty challenging or pretty hard to carry on onto the next game.
That's true, and that's going to be a problem if you are going. It's going to be top 11 teams going to the grand finals. We have already 5 teams prepared for the grand finals, including the host country teams, Indonesia, Korea, Terbang. But the rest of the team that actually trying to get the top 11, if they can't change, they can't have that reset moment for their minds, they're going to have trouble facing these teams, because when it comes to the teams that's invited as well, for the other 5 teams that are waiting in the grand finals, they are in a different ball game in time.
Yeah.
And those teams are really good when it comes to resetting their minds.
Yeah, actually.
If you want to be that good, that's the biggest. I mean, like, if you ask all the pro players, even their managers, the biggest issue coming up from this place is going to be having trouble to reset their minds.
Yeah, actually, because like the players are like quite young actually in terms of age.
Very young.
Yeah, very very young. So yeah, you know the hormones, you know the
Hormonal imbalance.
Yeah, like running inside of them is like quite a bit of challenge for them actually for become a pro player. So quick answer, Chuchu. For this game, are you still favoring towards Jordan, or are you gonna change team?
I'm still going to go for Jordan.
All right, let's see then, because we are gonna jump right into Miramar as our second game for Group B versus C. Let's go.
A quick question for you.
Oh.
Are you still going to stay with Egypt? then?
I think so.
I feel like I betray Egypt by selecting Jordan right now, because I'm supposed to be favoring them, because I used to study there for quite a long. I studied there a decade, literally 10 years.
No, it's okay. So I can see Egypt for you now.
Oh
Chuchu.
yeah, thank you
Yeah.
so much. Thank you for my. You're the best. You're the best sister that I never had. Like I never have this kind of sister ever. Like the one that's too kind to me.
Oh my God.
It's always the one that actually loves to bully me. But back towards the side of the flight partner. It's cutting across from the southeast to the northwest.
Yeah.
So coming up, I'm not sure how it cut across the map right now. Is it equal enough? But it's always about the circle. The circle that pops sometimes is so unpredictable these days. The player is just having a tough time to read out the pattern.
Yeah.
You know, but surprising enough, the last map in Erangel was really a normal circle. It's like the ancient circle ever.
Actually, like talking about circle though, like the changes of the circle itself, like you mentioned earlier, like we often see like a different kind of circles in different tournaments or official tournaments, like PMPL, PMRC, I believe, and also PMGC. So with those kind of different circles, I believe like me as a caster actually like kinda have a bit have a big not big but bit have a bit of a trouble to really following up which circle it is, which setting it is, like so even for the players, it's gonna be like a challenge for them as well to adapt to.
Oh, that's definitely true.
Yeah.
Imagine if you have a mutated certain circle in this tournament right now. It's like a combination of all the pro leagues, and it's like so hard to read out, because that feels what's happening right now. Back to the side of Egypt players, we do have Nura right now try to loot up and build. It's going to be the normal PUBG for the early game this time, a bit quiet. I'm glad this happened this way, because it's not fun to be chased with nothing on you, because that's what been happening earlier today.
Yeah.
And we do want to have good fights, have enough utilities, just gain your resources, loot up, build up your gears for the players, then have it a go for the fights.
Yeah.
but because so many players caught in the process of getting the drop spot. And one thing, speaking of drop spot, right? Maybe earlier today they haven't discovered sort of a territory between themselves for the teams.
Yeah.
So they happen to be clashing drop spots. Now, after so many games, they're fighting against each other. They've studied all the groups. Feels like they sort of respect certain territories for certain teams now.
Yeah, but I don't like it actually, because I really want to see a clash between the teams, between the countries, as early as possible.
That's true.
That's true. That's what we really like actually. Right?
Actions.
Yeah, actions.
Action-packed moment from PUBG Mobile. But the thing is, not fun if you just look at something that's being chased down.
Yeah.
That's happened quite a number earlier today. But I think it's different. But I love the fact that before we enter the second phase of the circle, they start to fight, including now.
Yeah, I believe so. And talking about circle, Choo.
Yeah.
After we saw like a lot of different kind of circle or different kind of like type of circle itself, like from PMPL, PMRC, and also PMGC. Which one is your favorite?
I love PMRC.
Yeah,
I love the
don't
format.
we all?
I love the format so much. It just forces the player to really focus on the map and the game when it comes to rotation. They can't play complacent at all.
Yeah.
But back towards the game just now, I think Chinese Taipei tried to secure the elimination, but apparently they couldn't finish off the job. I think we're starting off with possibly, I'm not sure what happened, but possibly Djibouti is just having 3 players. I'm not sure who gained the one. Yeah, Chinese Taipei getting the 1 elimination, but I have a feeling Djibouti actually.
I think the first player has been eliminated from Djibouti is having a solo crash.
Yeah, possibly.
Yeah.
That happened.
Because I think I saw the name in the elimination feed earlier.
It was knocked down. But I think
Not
maybe
eliminated.
one of the players, I think he got solo. Maybe they're being chased down at first. He tried to ride a car and just happened to be exploding and bleeding out. That might be the case since we didn't get any sort of an angle from there on. But outside of Korea team, now they're sharing the compound with another team so nearby. I'm not sure. Big Star again caught himself in a trouble. He was the one that actually caught himself in the middle of a chaotic moment. And Big Star again caught himself in the middle of so many enemies.
Yeah. We saw that moment though. But speaking about the circle though, that we saw is shifting towards the northeast side of the map itself. So I think like we are gonna see a bunch of teams that are gonna meet each other earlier in the pathway of their rotation. Like right now, not only players from Djibouti has been eliminated, but one of the players from Ghana as well.
Yep, Ghana again having a tough time after they got himself a bit of an improvement within the day. It just kind of crashed down since the current team making sure that they will secure the eliminations coming out from Ghana team. Now, they definitely will disengage in part ways since the fight has not been extended so far. But the side of Big Star, I mean, like, I'm not really liking his driving that much because he always got car issues and parking issues before, so.
That's what I'm gonna say. I think it's like quite a big of a challenge for him, especially from Korean team now, because like talking about vehicle, especially in Miramar, is really, really important for you to have a really skillful driver, actually.
Oh, yeah. I mean, like, we've seen so many accidents, especially if you flip in front of your enemy and happen to be shot down, exploded the car during the flipping moment. It's just really terrible, and just disappointment can just be seen by the player's face because we can get to see the players offline right now. But for Vietnam team, again, they want to rotate very late. I'm scared the same thing will happen on the side of, I think there's going to be a Guatemala team. Definitely got knocked down and finished off straight away. It's coming out from the side of
Egypt.
I think it's going to be Iraq this time.
Yes, right.
Yeah, we have to be really squinting our eyes to see the flags.
yeah. And we see it clearly. Iraq now securing their first elimination point, and they are gonna have their way pretty smoothly, I believe, towards inside of the zone itself, because like after that elimination, they pretty know. I'm really sure that they know already where is the rest of the player from Guatemala right now. But Reva, with his vehicle, I think that Reva is not really that committed to really looking inside of the compound around them.
Now this is really jeopardizing the entire team of Guatemala survival. We're talking about them being separated, forcefully separated, because they don't have vehicle to just exit out. Then one more team being discovered by Yala Volt, and it's going to be a bit of a problem. We rock spot them out. It's going to be tough for this side of Guatemala. One by one, big chip off. They've fallen off like flies for their players there. And they just too separated for the Guatemala team.
I think it is like the kind of the police style or the kind of a strategy that is not really working this past moments. Especially, I saw this kind of play style has been used by teams in PMGC and it doesn't work at all.
It used to work.
Yeah, it used to work, but now I believe you really need to have a quick or fast backup if something happening to your team.
It's not possible anymore. Back then, it can work because one of the main reason, the point system was different. The survival point system, the position system was actually higher, 25 points for chicken dinner. And also if you survive longer, they got more points. But these days, it's more to its balancing termination, termination, and also execution, and also coming up from the side of the position. So you have to balance it out. You can't play that safe anymore. You have to do something about it. So it won't work if you're playing as a 4, as a 1-1-1-1. We call 1-1-1 formation. So you have to work as a team because you need extra set of eyes to make sure that you're not being backstabbed all the way.
Yeah, actually.
It's a if 2-2 formation still works though. 2-2 formation still works, but we've seen a lot of 3-1s as well.
Yeah.
And the one sometimes being a bait, being the scouter. But in this case, we don't see that much of formation in this tournament.
Yeah. With the formation 3-1, right?
Yeah.
That you mean, yeah. We only see like 1-1-1 and also 2-2 in this tournament.
It's 1-1-1-1 or 4.
1-1-1. 1-1-1-1.
Or 4.
4, yeah. Or 4, yeah. It's quite rare to see like 1-3. But from what I can remember is I saw several 1-3 situation or 1-3 setup that is made by the teams in the first 3 of the games for today.
Group
but it's
A.
not, Group A. But it's not last that long. The setup is not last that long.
It feels like they're a bit forcing it. They're not getting used to it. It's like so it's not their habit.
Yeah.
Maybe they're testing out strategy there. So I do hope that the team's trying to build things up really good when it comes to their strategy, because if they really want to get into the grand finals, they want that $50,000.
Yeah, of course.
They really need to pick up that pace so fast, because we're talking about the top tier teams, one of the best teams in the world they're fighting against.
Yeah.
Now back to the side of Jordan. Now this is the team that I'm looking forward to be in PMGs in the future.
Oh, yeah, actually.
Right?
Yeah, actually, it's gonna be like pretty interesting to
They
see
can.
Jordan.
They
Actually,
have very good potential if you actually look at how they have the confidence to move forward.
Yeah.
They're not that, how do I say it? They're not nervous at all, even though they don't have that much exposure of PMGC.
Well, especially like some of the players is having already have some of the experience as well. Like they've teamed up with other team from their region, like Ragnarok, Lathe also from Yala Esports, and also like they've won. I believe Jordan once won WEC Asia qualifier.
Yeah.
Not one. I mean like the 3rd place.
The thing about the Jordan team right now that I noticed about the achievement, they are the top teams there, but they just couldn't push just slightly more.
Yeah.
It feels like it's lacking sort of an X factor that they still can't figure out what. They don't have that sort. If you notice, a lot of the teams of PMG, so they have this signature plays that only they can execute. So they don't have that sort of identity yet.
Yeah. That is from what I can say. But right now we are gonna see the Korean team will initiate a war between them and also Jordan. And from what I can see is I really like once again Jordan set up because they seem so confident about their player. But right now SRW only a pixel HP, but he is safe now.
If only Will don't have to reload just now, it would be perfect shot there. Back to a side of Jib Flag. I'm not sure what really happened. I've apparently been bombarded with bullets in the middle of the street there. Uriel, on the other hand, have a bit of a retaliation on the side of Jordan. They're not happy being shot down quite a number of bullets just now. Just returning the favor to the side of Korean side. Will try to find a flank. What a ingenious move. Brilliant play by Will.
Oh my god, Lee didn't even notice the step that Will make now. But now, with the information that Team Jordan got about the position of Team Korea, they are gonna take revenge over their teammate.
Big Star clouding out himself with smokes, making sure that none of the Jordan players can backstab him just how they did to the side of Jordan. They lost one player, and Sawi decided they're going to part ways here. It's not worth investing too much towards the side of the quarantine because they are quite too far from the circle. And the Blues are closing in very soon, and it's really risky for them to extend those fights.
Yeah, it's a wise decision for Jordan. They seems like they really want to stay alive up until the late game, and maybe facing another, maybe Egypt once again in this game, and really taking the revenge and gonna take the winner chicken dinner later on. But Egypt now, I think like they have a quiet, really chill pathway inside of the zone.
Feels like they're having the clear pathway, so they try to avoid conflict as much as possible. Like I mentioned before, we do love action-packed moments when it comes to PUBG Mobile, but at the same time, they're saving it for the best. You know what? It's best to actually wait until the fourth circle because you will secure yourself more position points. Plus, it's going to be more easier to actually eliminate those people coming up into the safe zone, and you just keep in the edge of the circle. Side of Toxin, Maldives, shooting and just tapping it out, hoping it will connect to the side of Chinese Taipei. The IGL for Chinese Taipei. Trying to give information, but this is a really risky move coming out from Chinese Taipei, just exposing themselves in the eyes of Maldives team.
Yeah, exposing without anything to cover now, and they stopped there. Actually, I think like they really want to set up a defensive area down there.
That was a different team entirely. The whole team of Chinese Taipei already down there. Who's the third person that happened to pass by with that vehicle just now?
I didn't see things. I don't really. I don't.
My eyes see things now.
Let's see. Oh, is it Jordan?
Possibly, because they're taking at the edge of the circle. So Maldives spotted them out. Maybe Esawi just now. Esawi just passed by.
Yeah.
So for the side of Jordan, they left with 3 players. But I think they are pretty good at surviving. The moment they lost one person, they are a bit taken aback and they're not too reckless if you compare it with when they have 4.
Yeah, I can see that. But as Howie, he's gonna be like guarding up the back line or the backside area of the Jordan's team now, or Jordan's way to get into the zone, because the zone is shifting away from them, I believe. And this kind of zone is not favoring any team right now.
It's going to be Chris DeVille and also No Man's Land. We got ourselves an airdrop. If only the airdrop contains AWM, it would be perfect, because the elevations on Chris DeVille right now is not too high, but yet enough to actually shoot everybody down from afar, from getting into the circle. It just can gatekeep perfectly, especially if you got yourself a couple of compounds to work with.
Oh my god. But now, South Korea, they seems like on their way into the zone, they are gonna be facing Team Maldives, I believe. And they seems pretty committed to taking down Team Maldives. And I believe that this is the only way. It's like a do or die situation. Unless Team Maldives is pushing back from the wall.
Back to us, math boy. Now, where to go? Maldives or Mauritius? You have to pick a fight here for the side of quarantine. They are kind of stuck in between, hammed down to as 3 teams in the process of transitioning on the 4th phase. The great migration, here comes. Big Star again stuck in the middle of nowhere. Maldives spotted out. They're quite separated thin. We have 3 to 4 teams now. They're not inside of a circle yet. We do have Cheo taking down on a Will. And now Cheo finish off Will. It's going to be Guatemala coming in as well. We have a new visitor coming up from the sidelines. Cheo! Oh, they managed to evade that one last minute. Lot taking on Ahmad. It feels like Egypt having a bit of a problem too.
Oh my god.
It's Iraq. Sorry, we got confused between these two teams.
Because like it's started to like pretty chaotic right now, as more and more players or more and more team is approaching the zone, and they are somehow gatekept by the teams at the edge of the circle itself, but Korea managed to take one man down more from Guatemala. And right now, Monique Hill, I believe he left there, hang and dry.
I mean, like, at the same time, looking at Big Star, he's just a big star right now. He used to be a big troublemaker before in the previous match, but this time he's the playmaker for the entire team of Korea. Definitely worth it. He just farmed it all the way for the entire team. Big Star has been clutch. It's not really clutch. He's just carrying the team when it comes to elimination points there. Back to the side of Jordan. They already down to only 2 players left. Now, I feel like we're jinxing the teams here. Donna, the moment we're rooting out for them, they're just going to be having a hard day.
Yeah, but at least Egypt is still here.
Yeah,
with a full power.
I'm jinxing the team.
Oh my god, but I believe that Jordan is gonna hang in there, especially they got that compound, that long building that they got at the edge of the circle, and now Bahrain seems doesn't really want to commit a war or retake that compound that Jordan has.
Back to his Chinese Taipei shot with a UMP spot out Namchin. This is not great for the side of Vietnam. At least they have a 4 this time. They got themselves 2 eliminations, but they're playing this as at the edge of the blue zone as possible. Shark spotted out one of the players, take it out down. What a spray from Hong on the back line. Shark gonna push off towards the rest of the team coming out from Eagle Esports. Sorry, it's coming out from Vietnam this time. They're having a tough time to defend this. It's gonna be them separated way too far off. I don't think the rest of the Vietnam team can save the one that's being knocked down here. Nam should even bail out Chua for the sake of Vietnam team to survive.
Oh my god, is this gonna be the time for Chinese Taipei is gonna shine? Because like seems like, oh my god, I think I'm gonna jinx it because like it seems like they are in an open field area without any obstacle and also any smokes that's been popped out, but somehow they managed to like dodging the wall between them and also Maldives, because Maldives it seems like they they only send one man to really scout their way.
Try and snipe away from a far Shark, but he don't have enough smokes. Oh, you need to move faster, Shark. They're so close off getting down. He made it. Barely made it. He only got 1 smoke, 1 flash, and 1 Molotov. That's it, Shark! Run and gone. What a randomizer.
Oh my god. And he has no more 8 kit, I believe, because so this is gonna be like the last dance or the last move. This is like do or die situation for him.
It's just what a game. This is going to be Vietnam getting themselves a good run this time. Marv taking on Hong. Chinese Taipei kind of in a turmoil right now. They're stuck in Kalaga in the middle of nowhere. Twanzi taking on the Egypt team here. Rooks, we're actually being knocked down but not being finished off yet. They will pop a couple of smoke to actually revive him back. Kalaga. Which team will be his pick here? Have one more team right across him. It's going to be Mauritius. Oh, Kalaga, he just cancelled it out. Where to go?
Yeah.
Pick one team. Pick one direction, Kalaga. You can do it.
Oh my god, if you don't pick one as soon as possible, you are the one who's gonna be picked by the other team because of this terrain, this kind of terrain and this kind of setup. They don't really have any or that much of hiding spot to work with.
Volt, Reva, back to Kalaga. Now back to the side of a Maldives team. It's in the middle of nowhere, open space. The terrain is uneven, but it's not steep enough for them to hide themselves. Back to the side of Mauritius. They're taking a fight against the Vietnam, but we might have the backstabber coming from Iraq from the sidelines. Bahrain on the other end. Oh, he's coming in late, stabbing everyone from the back. Volt with M416 spot out Namchin. Reva taking on Walud. There goes the attempt from Nura with SLR. Spot out of Hassan. They couldn't move. Bahrain, their tactical would not be the same again. They couldn't backstab. They can't build us just like how they did last game here, Donna.
Oh my god, but Egypt right now with 4 players still stand strong. They are gonna take the war up against each other team that they see in front of them. But right now, what is gonna happening is, I think, a big war between Maldives and also Team Iraq. Yeah, Iraq.
Just next to each other, no helmet, no problem. Mouth picking up the nade. Couple of seconds to go. It's going to be down to... Whoa! The exchange in there. Who's first? So close. It's so funny. Again knocked. Close enough. No! The shot coming out from Namshin. Oh, no! Oh, my goodness me. Who would have thought it rock? Hand between two teams. Maldives got the play here. He might just steal away the execution eliminations. But Namshin, Eagle.
Oh
Vietnam make it work this time, Donna.
Yes, they are still alive with the 3 players now. On the side of Vietnam, 3 elimination point, and they're still working the war between them and also Mauritius. But it's been pretty chaotic, but not a big impact for each team, I believe, because like they still have their position, they still have their player as well, and none of the team has been eliminated.
It's definitely chaotic. Why not? Because we only have 6 teams. It's 200 by 200 meters left of the circle. Definitely too small to be shared by 6 teams currently. Twanzi, again, with M416 spotted out. The side of Maldives, Marv spotted out. But Twanzi being extra careful. Shoot and pick and shoot and hide at the same time, not giving away his position from afar. Playins slowly finish off the plays of Maldives. They need to make a move. They need to take the fight. They have to force it to make it true.
I think one of the factors that why this team is not really that very aggressive or really rushing into push towards each other is some of the players from most of the teams has no longer has helmet and also like any other utilities like any other like guarding utilities for them.
Yeah, they don't have the gears enough. They need the gear to protect themselves, but they don't have anywhere to replenish their resources here. We talk about no death box nearby. Even if there are any death boxes, it's just too far off reach. Choto, Bahrain spotted out Egypt team. They're still standing on the zombies for the Egyptian team. They are mummies, literally. We're talking about them being knocked down so many times, but just get back up on their feet here. They just refuse to go down.
Yeah, especially like with this zone, they're not really like having a hard time with this kind of zone for Egypt's side. But I believe they really need to work on the way to the zone because like it's not gonna be like a very easy terrain. As we can see, Team Bahrain, I believe, has been eliminated. But right now we can see that Vietnam is really building up the wall and actually like really making the way to eliminate the opponent.
That's true, especially Winnie. He tried to squeeze in from the back line. Namshin might spot out one of the players from the back here. Slowly creeping in. We're down to only 3 teams. Reds finish off the side of the team just now. We're down to Mauritius. 1 player, 1 knockdown. Vietnam, this time they have 3 players with 5 eliminations. This is just what they needed. Winnie makes such big plays. Open out space for one. Reds! He's going in! What? Mauritius eliminated just like that. There was Vehicle spraying in by Corona. There was a bold move coming out from Egypt. They might just get another chicken after this, but it's going to be 2v3. Vietnam, it's equal off the odds. It's 2v2. What is happening to Vietnam? They can't do it. They got the high ground. Egypt, back to back chicken dinner. Goodness me.
Oh my God! Egypt is the new Saudi Arabia of Group B versus C right now. When where they are sitting right now is Group C. So it's really interesting.
I spent so much on the dash. I'm so sorry. You know
It's
what?
okay. It's okay.
I feel bad for betraying Egypt right now because I'm supposed to vote for them, and now if I change it, I might curse them even or jinx them. They might not get any chicken anymore.
That's what your intention, right? Not picking them.
I'm sorry, Jordan. I love both countries because they are next to each other, and I have so many friends in Jordan as well as Egypt. But speaking of Egypt, please, I mean, like, they're literally mummies and zombies. We're talking about not just the version of the country, like, you know, the national treasure. We're talking about how good they are as a team, playing as a tag team. It's so hard to bring them down.
Yeah.
It feels like they are playing just like how Infinity used to play, like a tag team. They refuse to go down. They will not even be knocked down. The moment they get knocked down, they open up the smoke. Couple of smokes being popped out. Just revive them again. Have it another go. they managed to reset within short amount of time.
Yeah, and we're gonna see that moment, those moments once again in the highlights that we are gonna show you just right now. I really want to see, like, to rewatch how the players, how the team is really working on their way in to the late game. Let's go.
So basically today is all about the back-to-back chickens here. We're talking
Yeah.
about, I have to say, in the World Esports Championship, the Middle East teams and regions is just incredible.
But talking about Middle East region, isn't it like happening recently? Like I saw a lot of moment or a lot of games that Middle East region is really
Rising up.
rising up. Yeah.
I think as a whole in esports, including Turkey as well.
Yeah.
If you notice, it's the start of this year mostly by a Vietnam team.
Yeah.
By
So-
the middle of the year, I don't know what happened. It feels like a surge of the Middle East
Right. Right.
and Turkey and Africa. I'm like, they are so good at esports right now.
I feel like the starting point for the Middle Eastern team to really rise up is like the PMWI.
Possibly. It feels like because previously they don't have any exposure of the
Yeah.
other team's gameplay. The
Ah,
moment you
right.
gave them once, is it more than enough? That one time just gives so much improvement for the entire region.
Yeah, and this is like the last game, the last dance that I really like. I thought that Team Egypt is who's the one is gonna like really shocked by the Team Mauritius, because like Mauritius is actually like if we're talking about the tactical, Mauritius actually has that spot for so long.
True.
Yeah, and then they really know what to do if the team is approaching them, and Team Egypt is like kind of too rushing,
Yeah. A bit reckless.
a
when it
bit
comes out.
reckless. Yeah, a bit reckless. I can say that when they move towards the inside the slope of Team Mauritius. So yeah, I kind of shocked and kind of impressed actually by how Team Egypt really execute the war or execute the movement that they made.
But just to mention now, Chua Chung, I think this is one of the longest eliminations by today. I think 393.
Yeah.
We're almost hitting the 400 numbers.
Yeah.
But back about the team, I do agree regarding Mauritius. They could have been better in that certain position. Same goes for Eagle Esports. They got the high grade. It was a 2v3 moment. It was a 2v3 moment against Eagle East. Sorry, not Eagle Esports, Vietnam. I'm sorry, I get used to that. For Vietnam team, they got the high ground, they got the elevations. All they need is just one nade to toss
Yeah.
over to the crate.
Actually,
But they didn't have anything. But for the top 4 teams right now, when it comes to Group C and B, hate to break it down, but it's definitely Group C taking over Group B.
yeah, I cannot wait to see like the rising of the Group B actually, because like it seems in the past 6, 7, 8 games, 8 games, right? The Group B's team is not really having like a big of a chance to like really.
Well, I did see a
Shining.
slight improvement. We saw Chinese Taipei right now.
Yeah.
They at first they having a lot of aggression in the first match. We cast it for Erangel. When it comes to Mirama, they have longer survivability with eliminations.
Yeah.
Now all they need is just finish off with a chicken. So
Yeah.
will it be Sunhawk?
Yeah.
Because they're like step by step for each of the game for Chinese Taipei, right?
Maybe I'm gonna rooting for Chinese Taipei after this. After hearing your
Maybe.
theory.
But it makes sense, right?
It makes sense, yeah. Maybe Chinese Taipei is like really need a chance or more games for them.
For same goes for Vietnam. It's actually
Yeah.
in the same shoes for both teams. But you know what? I'm hoping it'll be a different team, because if not, the entire graphic of today is only 3 flags flying.
But it's gonna be fun actually to see that kind of thing. But I'm hoping actually like from the depth of my heart it's gonna be like a different team, because like if not, the gap point between the teams
Yeah.
is gonna be huge.
Too much. Even
Too
right
much.
now, it's just incredibly big. We're talking about some teams already finished off, like I mentioned with you earlier. Was it? Or with Doge earlier? I get confused now. They finish off the entire day, but they are the only team that actually on the page too. I think
Yeah.
one of it is like definitely in Group A. I think it was Azerbaijan. I hate to break it, but it's Azerbaijan. But right now we're gonna head to break 4-bet before our last match of the day. Now, who will fight to the death just for the sake of chicken dinner? We're going to just head it out. 4-bet. Don't go anywhere. See you guys in a bit.